A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. Therefore do whatever they teach you and follow it. But do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on the shoulders of others, but they themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move them. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. They love to have the place of honor at banquets and the best seats in the synagogues, and to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces, and to have people call them Rabbi. But you are not to be called Rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all students. And call no one your father on earth, for you have one Father, the one in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. All who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted." Jesus, long before the invention of the internet and social media and all that, Jesus, responding to the fact that apparently there are some among us who like to curate their image and project a certain image of what's going on in our lives. And long before the Christmas letter that tells everything good going in our lives and covers everything else up, or the social media post that suggests that everything in our life is perfect and all of our angles are perfect on our photos, Jesus is saying none of that is what's important to him. None of that is what's important to God. And in fact, beware those who are busy curating their image. And he points in particular, of course, to the scribes and the Pharisees in this instance, teachers who are teaching the right things, he says. And that's important for us, I think, to not let that go by. Jesus starts this by saying they're speaking from the seat of Moses. They're teaching the teachings of Moses. And so you should pay attention to what they teach, but not to what they do. So while he calls out the apparent hypocrisy of some of the teachers of that day, he does not throw out the value of the law or the teachings or the need to adhere to them and to be formed by them ourselves. He simply says, pay attention to what's real, not to what we are projecting, not to what our image is in the world. And I think that's a timely word, at least for me, as we make our way through these days of Lent, to remember that even there are times when we're going through a Lenten discipline where it feels like we might be just a little bit phoning it in. And maybe that's all right. But Jesus says, whatever your focus is, keep it real, keep it humble, keep it focused on your relationship between God and yourself, or God and yourself and your neighbor. Not so much in trying to tell a story about yourself and who you are and how you're reaching for that holiness. Concentrate on the work, concentrate on the teaching, not so much on the curation of our images. It's not a complicated message, but might be one that is hard not to lapse into if we're not careful. So may God be with you as you sort out what's real in your Lenten disciplines, what's real about your desire and your approach to draw closer to God, and may God bless you in that work, and may God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.